Hello, friends. Welcome back to a live session with me. I am super excited today because I have somebody very special with me. Yeah, I'll spend a few minutes in introduction. I am Dr. Raj Shekhar, a medical practitioner. Been in the medical profession for a few years now, and with a lot of interest in the mind and the brain. And Asta is somebody who's been a very dear friend of mine for the last 5 years or more. And she is somebody comes with a lot of heart. She takes care. She balances her family, and she has gone into. She's been in the teaching profession, teaching business and accounting. But more recently, in the last few years, she's gone into these alternate therapies, including Reiki, NLP, access bars, and so on, and some terms that I don't even know how to spell them. And I was really excited to get her on board here on the video to talk with us and share her insights, share her knowledge, share her experience. So I really wanted to introduce you. So Asta is here. So let me take this opportunity. Hi Asta, welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Right. Let me just adjust the screen a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you are.
We can see you better.
Yeah. So say hi to Asta.
Hi. I'm so excited to be here. Thank
Really,
you.
really
Yes.
fantastic to have you here, Asta.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Can you take a few minutes to just introduce yourself and give us some idea of what it is that we are doing here?
Right.
Yeah.
What I really do, what I really love doing, is that I work with people to make their life more powerful, more effective, more possibilities, I would say, and not living like a constricted life. So I work with different energy modalities. I work with Reiki, I work with access bars. I'm an NLP practitioner, and I'm training to be a clinical hypnotherapist. So it's pretty much working with energy and working with your subconscious to really change the way things are in your life.
Absolutely. You know what? I've read books on all this, NLP, hypnosis, but
Yes.
you're the person that I would go to learn more in practice.
Yes.
What it
Well,
is.
for right now, I teach access bars. The other thing that I practice with people, like I do
Fantastic.
one-on-one sessions. But yes, access bars is something I can teach you. That
Oh,
is pretty much possible.
fantastic.
Yeah.
You got a student already.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
so to start off this discussion, I would like you to tell us why are these alternate therapies required? Why would people need it?
Uh, so see, there's a lot of times that people go through ups and downs in life, right? And
Right,
as you go for your physical health, to maintain your physical health, you would see a doctor,
right,
right? Similarly, when you have these mental and emotional ups and downs that happen in your life,
right.
for your mental and emotional well-being is something that you would go for would be energy modality.
Okay.
A lot of people believe that psychiatrist is the way,
Right,
and
right,
they go for
right,
antidepressants. I
right,
completely feel that really doesn't serve any purpose,
right,
because
right,
antidepressants just put you on that space
right,
where you become so used to antidepressants and living with the antidepressants
right.
that eventually you don't know how to deal your life without that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
So, anything and everything in your life, most of the things I would say is your regular stress, your
Right,
relationships,
right,
your work.
right, right,
And people use these terms very loosely nowadays. I'm depressed, I'm having a mental
right,
breakdown. You're not. You're
right,
absolutely fine, you're absolutely capable, you're totally functional. Sometimes just
right,
counseling and therapy can
right,
change things leaps and bounds, and you
right.
don't really have to go on Prozac and antidepressants for that.
Right. You know what? As a medical doctor, I have treated patients, and sometimes, many times, I tell them that you don't need me.
Yeah.
It's a background
Well,
anxiety
send them
or
to me.
yeah. So can you share uh, what are the kinds of people who can benefit from the therapies that you do?
Uh, I would say anybody. I would say you, that person sitting here, that person walking here, anybody and
Okay, sure.
everybody could
Practically
benefit.
anybody.
I practically started from the place where I wanted to help myself.
Okay.
I never thought I'll be practicing it or teaching it.
Uh-huh.
It was basically there were certain things that were not moving in my life,
Okay.
emotional issues, physical issues.
Okay.
Uh, and so I started exploring as to what is it that I can do to change my life and empower myself. And on the way, I realized that this is something that can benefit a lot of people. So right from I've worked with kids, I've worked with teenagers, I've
Okay.
worked with grown-ups, men, women. So if there's any categories, aliens not, but then anybody and everybody who has a human mind, human
Right.
emotions can benefit
Right.
from
Right.
this, I would say. So it could be anybody.
Right.
It could be people who have issues and challenges, and then again it could be people who have a completely functional families,
Right.
but
Right.
the way they've processed their experiences is not something
Right.
that is letting them function to their optimal capacity.
Right.
So it could be for anybody, normal people
So,
like you and me.
if I were to ask you a very specific question, like I have this, say, a patient who's been on anti-anxiety medications for more than a decade,
Right,
and now comes to me and says, doc, I can't do without it.
right,
I just have to take it.
right.
And you can't count how many patients of such
Mm-hmm.
category I've seen, and
Especially
antidepressants,
Dubai.
yeah, and it's crazy,
Yes.
and that's how things are going on. So what you're saying is that even such people can be helped out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So,
Anxiety, in fact, is something that it's a state of mind. It's the way we present that situation to us,
okay,
and the language that we talk to us about
okay,
that is what causes anxiety per
okay,
se. So there is
okay,
anxiety attacks don't happen. There's a trigger generally
mm-hmm.
which brings something from your past, maybe from your childhood, maybe from some experience, and then when that trigger is again activated in your environment,
Mm-hmm.
is when that attack comes.
Okay,
As long as you can understand that trigger and how it started, and you can
mm-hmm.
change it. So
Okay,
when you experience anxiety,
right,
you hear something, or you
right,
feel something, or
right,
you know, smell something. There's certain senses that are involved,
right,
and when you change that experience and you
right,
reframe it, is when you will not feel anxiety anymore.
okay,
So that's how you work with anxiety per se. But then
okay,
energy, balancing energies, because there's these seven energy centers in our body. So
okay,
when you balance the energy, which Reiki does,
right,
that again has the same effect. So there are
okay,
different ways that you can work together,
right,
like put things together. So it's not like a one track. So I will not do
okay,
only Reiki, or
okay,
I will not say, okay, I'm doing only bars. I
right,
could probably use bars, bring in Reiki when required, bring in my
okay.
NLP when required, and make a concoction and just give it to the person.
So, Asta, we've been hearing these terms for some time now while you're talking,
Yeah.
and I don't know if how many of my viewers here have a very good understanding about what Reiki is. I am zero for sure, even after reading about it. So, can you tell us what exactly is Reiki?
Sure. So Reiki, in very brief, if I say, Reiki is working with the universal energy. So
Okay,
everything around us is energy. Your energy, I'm energy.
right,
This table is energy. Coffee,
right,
everything
right.
is energy.
Okay,
But when molecules are closely bound, like a wall,
hmm.
we see a solid form.
Right,
But because this is air, we don't
right,
see it solid. But there is energy everywhere.
right,
And how
right.
energy vibrations move
Hmm.
is what changes or defines the way our physical or emotional being is,
Okay,
right? How sometimes you walk into a place and you just, if you go to a gurudwara or a church or a temple,
hmm.
the vibrations, that's energy, right? You
Right,
suddenly are
right.
calm. You must be really
Exactly,
irritated, but you
right.
just
True,
go calm.
true.
That's the energy of the place. So
Hmm.
what happens with Reiki is that if you have this balance in your centers, the
Hmm.
seven energy centers.
Hmm.
Reiki it's a hands-on therapy where you work on those energy centers,
Okay,
and the therapist becomes the channel. So I'm
right,
channeling the universal energy into your body,
okay,
whereby you are it's just going to whatever energy center it needs to go to just balance and harmonize your chakras
okay,
or
okay.
energy centers. So that's how Reiki essentially works. It
Hmm.
just balances, harmonizes. It works on your emotional level. It works on your physical level for
Hmm.
physical ailments as well.
Right,
So that's how basically Reiki works, if I put it
okay.
simply.
So then, what is this term you use, like called
Access bars.
access bars?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
that's my favorite actually.
Uh-huh.
So access bars are
Uh-huh.
these, again, it's a hands-on therapy,
Okay.
and it's these 32 points on your head,
Mm-hmm.
which have all these point of views about different aspects of your life. So
Mm-hmm.
it could be money, body, sexuality, relationship, control,
Mm-hmm.
anything, everything, sadness, and all these point of views that we have about this around these things, right?
Right.
So, and when we have these point of views, we just don't receive, or we just block ourselves from receiving,
Mm-hmm.
because we have these filters. So
Okay.
if I've grown up believing that money comes to people hard way,
Mm-hmm.
now it could be that my parents have told me that you really have to work hard, otherwise there'll be no money for you,
Okay.
or maybe I've just seen my parents working really hard. I will not. I'll grow up believing with this point of view that money is hard,
Okay.
and then I'll never be in a space to receive money with ease.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
I'll either make my life super difficult. I'll be traveling like 15 hours a day, and I'll be like, okay, wow, now I really deserve this 50,000 dirhams. Or I'll say, you know what, I don't want that crazy life. I don't know what want my parents' life, so I'll just probably work 6 hours and earn 10,000 dirhams. Either or scenario, I'm not receiving it with ease,
Right.
right?
Right.
So what access bars really does is when we put our hands, tap our fingers on those points, you just release all these point of views that
Right.
you have
Right.
about things in your life based on your experiences
Right.
and your parents' experiences,
Right.
and you just release all of that.
Right.
So you create more space.
Right.
So if I say it very simply, it's like taking out a virus, deleting the virus from your computer hardware, which is not
Okay.
letting you
Fantastic.
function,
That's a really good example.
and then you create space. You create space so
Okay.
anything can show up because there is no fixed way that it has to show up for
Right,
you.
right, right. So I hope all of you are getting a lot of value from what Asta is telling us. Uh, Removing the virus from our internal system. How big is that? That's really great, fantastic. So let's take it forward. I think when we talk a little bit more about a few examples, if you could share,
Okay?
somebody like I know it's very
Confidential.
confidential,
Yes.
so you don't need to share details.
Yes.
But whatever is relevant to our viewers
Absolutely.
and to me, you could share that.
So, off my head, I think I've worked with a lot of people. There's these two cases which are really, really, very empowering for me as a therapist. Is one in which I worked with this lady who had never ever expressed herself, like never opened her mouth to the extent that her husband, she's been married for 25 years, and her husband still doesn't know what is her favorite food, what is her favorite music, nothing, because she never expresses. Whatever the people say, she just goes ahead with it. Teenage children, whatever, it's like a yes man thing for her always.
Right, right.
And the first session that we had, she was like immense sorrow. There was a lot of crying and a lot of emotional trauma because she
Okay.
couldn't really, she felt very restricted in
Right.
her throat.
Okay.
So we worked and we worked and we did Reiki and bars, and there was NLP and all of that I was playing with her. And the way things shaped up and improved for her was so amazing that she actually went out with her friends and she sang with her friends, and
Fantastic.
which like just really opened up her throat, and so many restrictions that she thought. And while we were working, we realized that a lot of that was coming from her childhood,
Right.
because of the way she was raised, because of the relationship with the mother, and the seeking for approval from her mom, which never really happened. And so her entire life became about pleasing people, about looking for approvals, and never really getting the acknowledgement that she's present. And that
Okay.
really, really empowered her, and touch which she's doing fantastically well. I haven't seen her, which means she's really, really happy and doing fine.
That's a big
Um,
deal.
yes, that was, and then this another one, which was this woman who was having marital issues, personal problems, which I'm not gonna go details into.
Sure.
And then she had, so the rejection was the main thing.
Right.
Rejection from husband, rejection from work. She was laid off, and then she wasn't getting job. Wherever she's applying, she's getting rejected. She was fantastic because she was so like willing to move, because it's
Right.
it's really about the choices that you want to make.
Right.
It's not me doing the magic, but it's you and me working together.
Right.
And within those 5 sessions, I think, of Access Bars, her marriage turned around.
Oh wow.
Fantastic. She got 5 interview calls, out of which 3 she got offer letter.
Okay.
In fact, the one that she really wanted, and she
Uh-huh.
was traveling that time, it was last summers, I think, and they actually told her that they'll wait for her to come back from her holiday because they really want her on.
Fantastic.
So she completely turned her life around. So she did the whole
Fantastic.
course with me and all of that, and she's on her way. So it could be any area of your life: relationships, work, money, anything, possibly anything that you can imagine, that you can just turn around and make it something else.
Right. Fantastic. I mean, I think I really picked up a lot of things when you shared about the examples. Only thing I am missing out on a lot of comments here. People are asking questions. So I'm not a professional interviewer, so I'm not very good at that. I'm just trying to extract as much information as I can from our expert here, so that we can always learn a lot more. You can raise your questions, and we can answer that maybe later on another session or something like that. But I'd like to ask Asta, you shared these two cases, so do you have any specific message for our viewers which you would like to give? Yeah.
I would say message is what I would say is that this is, you don't have to have an issue in your life to come for energy healing, and it's not like there has to be something wrong with you in your life. But if your life is already going good, you can probably make it better. You can make it 10 times better just by adding little techniques here and there, just by changing the language that you use with yourself, because your language is also the energy. your words carry energy. The way you
Right.
talk to yourself,
Right.
the way you talk about situations in your life, impact your entire life. So
Okay.
just by changing those things around your life is something that you can really make your life more powerful than what you ever thought
Right.
would not be possible for you.
Fantastic. So what I'm understanding is that a lot of people divide their life into normal and abnormal.
Absolutely.
You know?
The two,
Yeah.
I'm normal, you're not.
Yeah. Or that that I'm so abnormal that I can't be helped.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's an extreme form of thinking.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
what you're saying is it opens up the
Absolutely.
possibility of, first of all, even normal people improving their lives,
Yes,
overcoming their,
totally.
getting a breakthrough in their life.
Totally.
Number two, even people who are sick, avoiding medications or
Absolutely.
getting.
I would say go for anything but medication. And that's my personal experience. My dad had went through this thing, and that's something very personal that I'm sharing. He went through this entire period of so-called depression termed by the psychiatrist, and nothing really helped. None of the psychiatrist sessions, nothing. And he went through his whatever. He was coping with grief basically, and I'm really proud to say how he's turned around his life. And it was only by making that choice that I have my life, I want to live my life, and nothing else matters but this life that I have, which is what I would like you guys to, if you ask me a takeaway message, this is the life. So if there's anything that you can do to make this better and not go on antidepressants, not go on Prozac, not really fall, no offense to the doctor, for the white coat syndrome, please look out for alternate therapies. There are more capable people now who can help you, who can really figure it out with you to make your life more powerful and more expansive.
Thank you so much, Asta.
Thank you. Thank you so
I
much for
think
giving
I
me.
think we could continue on and on and on.
Yep.
So much to talk and learn.
Yes.
What we can do is we can continue the dialogue. You can post your questions in the comment section,
Sure.
and I could request Asta to come over and share her
I would
thoughts
love to.
further. We depending on how the response is from all you people, I'll ask her to have another session with us. We haven't spoken about NLP,
Oh yes,
so
that's fantastic as well. We would have to explore that.
yeah. So we'll talk more depending on how things go. I will have one more session with her for sure. Okay. So really nice having you here.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much.
for having me over. Thank you.